Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we examine headlines from our city, from our state, from our country, and combine them with knowledge that we have and we volunteer and we share with one another about our city, Puerto Vallarta, so that we can end up having an amazing life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. And by amazing, I mean connected to the city, connected to one another, connected to the roots of Mexico, our country, our traditions, you name it. So this is what we do. We do it from Monday through Friday, and it is always a pleasure to get together with you. Today is Saturday, September 25th. It's the end of our work week. So today we're going to enjoy a nice and relaxed broadcast. There isn't a lot of news to share, so we have a few important things and just curious things that we have found. We also love to welcome new people, new friends, such as Lynn Anderson, who's joining us new from Texarkana, Arkansas. She has written the word new at the beginning of her comment, which is what we appreciate. That way we can give you a proper welcome. So if you are new, don't hesitate to let us know. And that way we will just give you a little hello, and that's just the way we are around here. Also, if there's something really important that you want to bring up, add a letter Q at the beginning of your comment, and that way we will make sure that we don't miss it during the broadcast. As always, we'll go through our news, then we'll go through our weather, and then we'll talk amongst ourselves and figure out what we are planning to do this weekend. And today we have a special question. What are we reading and why? And how. We're going to talk about reading a lot today, just because it's Saturday in Puerto Vallarta. What else are we going to do but curl up to a good book at some point? But first, let us tackle some news and we'll take it from there. Yesterday, Puerto Vallarta became the first municipality in the state of Jalisco to complete all its vaccination campaigns for adults 18 years of age and higher. But where are the young adults? For the final campaign, which went from Tuesday to yesterday, 15,000 vaccines were assigned for the 18 to 29-year-old age group. And it's worth mentioning that this age group already had a campaign to receive their second dose with very low attendance. This time around, less than 2,000 people in that age range received their vaccination. That's less than 2,000 out of 15,000 that were expected to receive their second vaccine. There is not much more to say here beyond the fact that it is sad, or at least I find it sad, that the younger population is not responding to the vaccination mandate. And, you know, it's just unfortunate. And for the rest of us that did get vaccinated, well, we're doing what we can to take care of ourselves and also to take care of people around us. And that's all we have to say there. I wanted to let you know that El Banco de Mexico, or Bank of Mexico, is celebrating our country's independence by issuing a new 20 peso bill. And this is good news because the new bill is not blue. And why is it good news? Well, because the current 20 peso bill is the same color as the new 500 peso bill, and they can easily be mistaken for one another after a couple of margaritas. I don't speak from personal experience, but I know somebody who had a colorful mistake here and there with a tip. The predominant colors in the new bill are red and green. These are the national colors of Mexico. The city of Guadalajara has announced that it will host the Pride Games 2021 this coming month, in which 1,000, or rather over 1,000, LGBT athletes from 22 states in Mexico are expected to participate, along with athletes from 2 guest countries. The event is endorsed by Jalisco Sports Committee and will take place October 1st to October 3rd. During the 3 days, athletes will compete in several disciplines, including soccer, volleyball, swimming, and more. Organizers say that this is the second edition of the Games. That in this second edition of the Games, they managed to double participation. And it is worth noting that the organizing committee of the International Gay Games was in Guadalajara just a few weeks ago. As our capital city is one of 3 international destinations presently considered to host the Gay Games in 2026. A decision on the chosen city is expected to be made this coming November. We had previously talked about this and pretty much feel that this would be a great, great move for Guadalajara in particular, and for our state in general, as this would be a great way to promote our hospitality and tourism. Let us turn over to the weather just to see what we can expect for the remainder of this weekend. That cloud looks like a rhinoceros in heat, says our snarky weather today. Our temperature right now is 29 degrees, 2 degrees warmer than our usual 27 degrees, 7 degrees. Usually we are around 27. Now we're at 29, feels like 34. That would be 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Our humidity is low, though, 79%, I'm sorry. So it's not as humid as yesterday, and this is good news because if you're going to be walking out and about, you won't feel as schwitzy as you usually do. Our forecast for today indicates rain until evening with light and variable winds, a high temperature of 31, low temperature of 24. Tomorrow, Sunday, possible light rain in the evening with a high temperature of 31 and a low temperature of 23. And on Monday, possible light rain in the evening with a high temperature of 32, low temperature of 22. Before we move on to the rest of the show and tell that I have for you, let us follow up on that strange black line that that we discussed yesterday that shows up in front of your screen when you're watching the broadcast. This morning, we did not restrict your comments. This morning, anyone can comment, so I am just wondering if you are still seeing a black line across your screen. Again, this has much more to do with Facebook and its settings, and whether you're watching on your computer or your laptop or your phone or your tablet. I'm just wondering if the line is gone. If the line is gone, then we don't have to restrict our chat, and we just have to be watchful whenever somebody starts spamming the conversation. But I see that Colleen says that the line is gone, so that's good to know. Ultimately, we want to be able to provide the best possible viewing experience. So I'll be looking at your comments about the line and other things later on, and we'll take it from there. But first, I'm always so happy to receive photos from you, photos and videos of all your activities here in Puerto Vallarta, what keeps you busy, what keeps you inspired. And this time around, it is our friend Dale who has sent me 2 precious photographs of what she's been up to. And it's almost telepathic because, well, let me show you the first image, and this is Dale surrounded by books. And the reason I say it's almost telepathic is because I decided I wanted to talk about books and reading this morning. And I made that decision before Dale shared these photographs. So she sends me these photographs, and I was like, wow, telepathy or two great minds think alike. I don't know. But you may be wondering why Dale is surrounded with all these books. Well, she tells me that she approached the local women's prison a few months ago with the intention to help set up a reading library for lady inmates. And the good news is that this intention has turned into reality. As we can see on this second image, you are looking at what is the beginning of what will hopefully become a much larger reading library at the women's prison. The library opened this week, and Dale is continuing to collect books for her next visit to the facility, which will be at the end of October. So if you have any books to donate, please get in touch with her directly. And congratulations to you, Dale. I know that you're watching because I saw your name scroll by, for getting involved in such a worthwhile pursuit. Bravo. And to quote Dale from a message she sent me this morning, a book may change somebody's life. So I was already thinking about talking about books and reading, so the timing was immaculate, I said to her. And that brings me to my original idea of asking you, what are you reading and why and how? To explain myself, I'll volunteer some of my reading habits, and I would love to hear some about yours in the comments. Of course, for starters, because of all the research I do for Coffee and Headlines and other pursuits, I tend to do a lot of short form reading of essays and articles and news stories online. And this is a blessing and a curse, because when I do a lot of short stories or short form reading, then my attention span for longer works, it just seems to want to disappear. But I love getting caught up on a good read. So most of my fiction I enjoy through audiobooks on my cell phone, and a lot of times books are narrated by their authors. And when they're not, there are some awesome book readers out there that truly add flavor to the reading experience. Case in point would be my current read, which is Project Hail Mary, which is a science fiction novel by #1 New York Times bestselling author of The Martian, Andy Weir. The book is awesomely read by American actor Ray Porter, who even makes different voices for the different characters, including the female ones, making the experience truly engaging. And when do I read? Well, I listen to audiobooks when I'm walking from one place to another. It's my favorite time to get engaged on a book. Needless to say, if I'm on a trip and I'm on a plane or I'm on a bus, which I haven't been in years, that I would be enjoying an audiobook then. But for example, whenever I'm walking into the city to do all my errands, I love getting caught up on a good book, as long as they're fiction. On the other hand, I enjoy most of my nonfiction or reference reading on my trusty Kindle. Look at the poor thing. It's just old. It's an old case, rather. I try to keep it in good shape. But I love my Kindle. It is always loaded with books that are reference books. They have everything to do from music to productivity and so forth. And I love the Kindle because it allows me to annotate passages that one can extract from the Kindle, and it can be used later on, particularly as they relate to music appreciation lectures or other presentations. So these are my reading habits. I would love to read your comments about whether you are a reader or not, and what you are reading right now, and why. So I look forward to that once we get done with what we have to share. And I have one more story or item that I want to share with you in the show notes, and that would be this little video that is right here. Every country has its own traditions, and Mexico is no exception. And when it comes to traditional folk dancing, nothing beats watching dancers learn from one another in summits or meetings or conventions or other educational opportunities. In this video, we watch members of the Ballet Folklórico Nuevo Jalisco from Guadalajara demonstrating a polka, a traditional polka from the state of Chihuahua. And I'm going to leave you the link for you to enjoy in the show notes. I am sure that watching it will bring a smile to your face. And this is what we have for you today. Let me now turn over to your comments. I'm really eager to see what you're up to today, what your plans for the rest of the weekend are, and how everyone is doing in general. As always, we are very grateful, Luna and I, from all these wonderful good mornings, and particularly from those of you who are looking forward to returning to Puerto Vallarta. This is absolutely wonderful. Glad to hear that there is good weather in Guadalajara. If there was opera in Guadalajara, I would be happy, but I don't want to bore you with my latest obsession. We still don't have any news as to whether the Met Opera will be broadcast in Guadalajara, and I am potentially heartbroken. But that's just me. Let's see what else we have here. Another day counter. Susan is counting days till I get home to PV. That is awesome, Susan. I hope once you get here, your travels are safe and sound. Doom beedo doom bum bum. Did I miss a new person? I saw a new person. Lynn, of course, we talked about Lynn a second ago. Welcome, Lynn. This is Coffee and Headlines. I hope you have your favorite beverage near you. Let's see what else we have. Lisa is also coming back into town. Good for you all. And Kathleen, I was wondering where you guys have been. This is great that you were visiting Mexico City. How wonderful. I look forward to learning more about the places that you went to, and what a great city Mexico City is to visit. Let's see what else we have. The Blue Bills also have the same president on it, Benito Juarez. Yes, absolutely true. Ricky comments, as a collector of paper money, I'm very happy that Mexico has decided to continue to issue a 20 peso bill and not default to the 20 peso coin. Yes, that makes two of us, because those coins would be very, very weighty. Kimberly asks, what are your thoughts on crypto money? I'm hearing there might be a worldwide currency of crypto. I'll be perfectly frank with you, Kimberly. I'm very, very ignorant of cryptocurrency, so I don't have any thoughts on them, on the different initiatives available. So I don't know what to tell you. I like my pesos because I can actually spend them wherever I go. Let's see. Patty says, I have had a few new 20 peso coins, and they are sufficiently similar to the 10 peso coins that they're a little obnoxious. But there we go. Chris reports, all clear here, Paco, no black line here, thanks. And I see a lot of people saying no lines. So clearly, I put the lines there when I didn't put them there, but whenever I select your chat comments to be only from followers, the black line appears. So we won't have a restricted chat anymore. And whenever we see anybody trying to spam our broadcast, we will gang up on them together. So there. Let's see what else we have. I love Anna because she's like, I never saw any black lines. Good morning, by the way. Well, good morning, by the way, to you. Elizabeth gets size Queenie on us, and she's like, we were watching you on a 65-inch television. I wish I had a 65-inch television. Anyhow, let's see. Funny, I just got a book called The Battle for Tenochtitlan for my birthday from my brother-in-law. Going to try and read it in Spanish. Good for you, Robert. I hope it is a good read. If it is, feel free to let us know about it. Let's see what else we have. Congratulations for Dale from some of you. This is awesome. My goal is to read a book once a month. I like flipping the pages and having a small library. Yes, there's something to be said about reading an actual book. I still have a few actual books that I enjoy. Audible with Bluetooth headphones. Lisa, you are one of my kind. I am still in love with paper and hardbound books. I love the feel and smell. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, but I don't buy actual books anymore. Um, Barbara says, I read Hail Mary, learned that I'm not a science fiction fan. I know that I am. And I know that it gets a little technical and geeky, but I find it fascinating, even when I don't understand most of the technical specs. I like his storytelling. I prefer real books, but I can only seem to find time when I'm on vacation. I hear you, Alina, and I don't mean to change your habits or anything, but I personally find um, that reading at night helps me go to sleep. And I'm trying to get out of the bad habit of playing video games in bed on my iPad as I'm falling asleep. There's this game that I play called Township, and it has everything to do with building a small town and feeding cows and other farm animals. And I've come to realize that whenever I start feeding my cows late at night, I cannot go to sleep. So I'm trying to get more in the habit of reading late at night. So there you have it. Stephanie says, I prefer to hold and read an actual book. I have a Kindle and don't use it. If you don't use your Kindle, Stephanie, gift it to somebody that might. Let's see. Meggie, as in Peggy, likes political, nonfiction, and travel books. Excellent. Oh, and also learning Spanish. Good for you. See, a lot of folks like real books or actual paper books. But I love my Kindle. The Kindle is great on the beach. It's great on the bus. It's great everywhere I go. Uh, Barbara says, recently discovered author Richard Flanagan. Excellent. Kept my U.S. library card and can check out any library book for 14 days. Daily read headlines from Politico, Huff, CNN, BBC, and Yahoo. Thank you, Scott. I remember when I visited Washington, D.C. for the first time, it was irrationally important for me to go and get a Library of Congress card. And I, for the longest time, had an actual Library of Congress card. And I used to think that was a huge, big deal. But what do I know? I was young. Let's see. Dale acknowledges we have different programs that I started earlier this year. Every few months, I take toiletries as well, which are donated from the community. Dale, this is super awesome. Please don't ever hesitate to keep us posted on what you're doing and, more importantly, how we can help. Kathleen just finished reading Jesus, my autobiography. Wow, is all I can say. Makes sense. And someone recommended the Bridgerton series, so started that as I love the show that came out. Excellent. Do you know what government holiday is this Monday? Oh my God, I suppose I should, but I actually don't. I don't. Does anybody know what government? Oh, wait. No, I saw it announced. It is something like Municipal Worker Day or something goofy like that. And I do remember reading about this. I don't remember the exact name of the holiday. It was either Municipal Workers Day or Government Employee Workers Day, something like that. And I do know that official offices will be closed. Thank you for that reminder, Elizabeth. Let's see. Da, da, da. I read every day. Kindle app on my tablet. Download, borrow free books from my online library. Excellent. Thank you for that. My husband and I are in the same book group, so sharing a book on the Kindle works for us. We're currently reading The Sweetness of Water by Nathan Harris. It's his first novel and fantastic. What is a book group? Where do book groups congregate? Sometimes I wish I was in a book group so that I could talk about the books that I'm reading. Better yet, I would love to be in a music listening group so that I could talk to people about what they're listening to. I'm fascinated by these things. So if you want to tell us a little bit more about your book group, Colleen, that would be awesome. Maybe we should have a book group here. Uh, my Logan is totally traditionalist here when it comes to books. I've tried to get into electronic readers, but I am a firm believer in giving one's eyes a rest from too much screen time. Okay, I won't send any sexy male photographs your way anymore. So there. Oh, that calls for one of these. There you go. My goodness, there's a bunch of you that are reading. Currently reading The Sum of Us by Heather McGee, Fantasy Football Handbook, Absolute Power by. Okay, I'm confused which is the title of one and which is the title of two. But Betsy, I think it's great that you're doing a lot of reading. I love it. Um, let's see. Da 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 da. Dave says, last book I read was by my niece, The Purpose of Power. Fascinating. So it's great to see that a lot of you are doing reading. And I think that is absolutely wonderful. Sometimes I think I'm like one of the few people that read anymore. And it is always wonderful to see that other people read. And I love running to people that read science fiction. I love science fiction when it is scientific. If it gets really quirky, then it's difficult for me to latch onto the stories. Uh, Mushi is on my turf as well. I prefer audiobooks. I think audiobooks are awesome. Um, let's see. Christy tends to read books that are on her shelves until and that are still unread. Favorite authors are Irving Stone, Daphne du Maurier, John Steinbeck. Um, then there are books that one reads many times. Like, for example, I've read Stephen King's The Stand at least half a dozen times in my adult life. And I love revisiting the book because it's such a great, well written, ginormous story. It is really, really beautiful. Um, oh, this is good news. Arte Viviente has a Leave a Book, Take a Book exchange. There you have it. Um, Interesting. Yeah, Clive Cussler is absolutely amazing. I like reading some of his stuff from time to time. Uh, Colleen says, we are a group of 10 and have been meeting for 17 years. We pick a book that all of us read and then get together every 6 to 8 weeks to discuss. There may be wine involved. The closest I've been to that, Colleen, is I have a couple of lady friends, 3 lady friends here in town, and we used to get together every Sunday, either at my house or somebody else's house, and we would watch 2 episodes of HBO's The Sopranos back to back. And there would be a lot of drinking. So we watched the entire series. We watched the entire series together over a course of Sundays. It took more than a year to do it, and it was absolutely fun. I miss doing things like that. Uh, the Stand, oh my God, by Stephen King, says Kimberly. Only seen the movie, but what a message. Well, let me tell you that both movie adaptations are peanuts compared to the actual book. Kimberly, highly recommended. Um, I have read The Stand twice, another multiple reader. Gone with the Wind 3 times. There you go. There you go. So it's great to see that so many of you read. Well, reading is a great activity, and I am so very happy to see all your recommendations and all the things that you are reading. And this, of course, brings us to the end of this very mellow, very light coffee and headlines. I hope it's okay by you, perfectly fine by me, because this was a very eventful week. There was a lot of stuff going on. But of course, this coming week is going to be very exciting. We're going to have a follow up to our tacos de canasta from this week's Taco Tuesday. We are going to take a look at a couple of tacos de canasta places. And of course, we're going to continue with our walks and we're going to continue with our neighborhood exploration. So I hope you have an amazing Sunday tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm getting together with good friends going up the river to enjoy nature. And I hope you have something wonderful planned for yourselves. I hope you'll come back on Monday or sometime soon to continue to share how you keep your time here in Puerto Vallarta vibrant and how you stay connected with the community, how you stay inspired and nurtured with your actions to better our surroundings. Between now and then, have a great one, and I hopefully will see you sometime soon.